The first thing a man feels when an erection fails is not in the body, but in the mind. It is an emptiness that appears in seconds. You expect firmness, but receive uncertainty. The body should respond, but it doesn't. And in that instant, a weight is born. One that no one hears, yet it presses like a secret locked away tightly. Behind that weight lies a hidden routine, failed attempts, invented excuses, the joke used as a shield to mask embarrassment. The desire is there, but the physical response no longer comes with the same strength. And with every failure, the doubt grows. Has it ended for good? It is at this point that many believe there are only two choices: accept the loss as destiny or surrender to expensive drugs, with frightening side effects and promises that rarely hold. But science has been showing a different path. A detail so small, contained in half a pill, can reignite what seemed extinguished. And the most impressive part? This simple adjustment doesn't force the body from the outside in. It reminds the body to do what it has always known how to do: produce its own strength. That's why, in the next few minutes, you will discover how half a pill a day is enough to restore not only your erection, but also the confidence that seemed lost. No tricks, no miracle formulas, no becoming hostage to needles. What you're about to see is science applied intelligently, with results that impress precisely because they respect the natural workings of the male body. So, before we continue, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, because every week I bring straightforward, practical, and taboo-free content for men who want to recover vitality and power. And now I want to hear from you. Write the word strength in the comments if you believe you can still regain the energy you once had, or the word react if you've already decided you will no longer stand still. When erection begins to falter, most men don't look for an explanation. They prefer to blame stress, age, or accumulated fatigue. But the truth is different. It's not just the wear of time. The body sends clear signals that it needs adjustments, but those signals are rarely understood the right way. It's curious how problems like circulation, blood pressure, or cholesterol can be discussed without embarrassment. But when the difficulty is potency, an immediate barrier appears. This makes many think they are facing something rare, when in reality, millions of men go through the same process every single day. The point that almost no one dares to admit is simple. Losing firmness is not an inevitable destiny. What happens is that the body shifts into an economy mode, reducing hormone production and relaxing the mechanisms that sustain erection. It is a physiological adjustment, not a definitive sentence. And here lies the most important detail. What has fallen asleep can be awakened. There are proven strategies that can once again trigger this natural response of the body without relying on radical solutions. Science has made it clear that this is not about accepting loss as normal, but about understanding what lies behind it and acting intelligently. If this subject speaks to you, show that this conversation is worth continuing. Click like on this video right now. By doing so, you help this message reach more people, and at the same time show your support for serious, straightforward content. The decline in erection doesn't happen overnight. It starts, almost imperceptibly, hidden in daily detail. That strange fatigue at the end of the day, even after a normal routine. The lack of willingness for small gestures of intimacy, which once came naturally and now seem to require extra effort. The body speaks in subtle ways. Restless nights that slow the mind, irritation without clear reason, the heaviness of waking up without energy. Even the mood change, and the person who was once steady and confident begins to avoid situations they once sought. With enthusiasm, the touch becomes rarer, the gaze less intense, and the connection that once felt obvious starts to slowly fade away. Inside, the explanation is clear. Hormone production drops, circulation weakens, and the mechanisms that sustain erection no longer function at the right pace. The body enters a conservation mode, as if pulling an invisible brake. There's no pain, no explicit warning, but the result is felt in the skin. Less vigor, less response, less confidence. The problem is that many men ignore these signals. They treat them as something temporary, say it's just stress, or believe age is already taking its toll. But meanwhile, the internal adjustments continue, and the more time passes without action, the greater the distance grows between what you once were and what you feel now. The real turning point begins when these signs stop being seen as coincidences and are recognized for what they truly are. Early alerts that the body needs attention before the failure becomes permanent. If you have recognized yourself in any part of this story, I want you to know there is more knowledge waiting for you. In my digital book, Rediscovering Intimacy, Healthy Sexuality After 60, I've gathered practical guidance for men who want to regain firmness, energy, and confidence in their relationships. There, I explain natural, easy-to-apply strategies to reignite desire, overcome the body's changes, and strengthen the connection as a couple. The link is in the first pinned comment. If this video helps you understand what's happening, the book will show you how to turn that understanding into daily practice. When a man discovers that his hormone levels are low, the first reaction is usually distrust. Not because information is lacking, but because the solutions offered often seem more frightening than the problem itself. Injections promising quick results, daily application gels, capsules sold as miraculous. All of this comes with a shadow: dependence. This fear is not irrational. Many have heard stories of men who started hormone replacement and, after an initial burst of enthusiasm, saw their bodies shut down natural production. The brain recognizes that there is already enough hormone circulating and simply stops working. The result? Temporary relief followed by an even steeper decline, and the feeling of being trapped in a treatment with no end. The scene is common. Men who consider starting hormone therapy but freeze at the thought of needing a needle forever. Others start but give up halfway when they realize that the vitality they gained comes with a high price. Side effects, unwanted physical changes, and the dreaded testicular atrophy, a clear sign that the internal factory has been shut down. This set of fears creates an almost insurmountable barrier. Many prefer to convince themselves that it's just stress or just age, rather than risk losing the autonomy of their own body. It is a cruel paradox. Even knowing there is a way out, distrust keeps them stuck, caught between the fear of failure and the fear of the solution. And it is exactly at this crossroads that thousands of men remain for years, believing there is no alternative other than accepting the decline or paying the price of dependence. After so many options that scare more than they help, the surprising truth is that the answer can lie in something much smaller than imagined. Not a painful injection, not an expensive capsule with fleeting effects, but an almost microscopic adjustment, half a pill. The strength of this detail lies in the way it works. Unlike traditional replacement therapies which flood the body with ready-made testosterone and trick the brain, this strategy works as a subtle reminder. It's as if the body received a silent note saying, "It is still your job to produce, keep working." The effect is powerful. Gradually, the internal hormone factory, which had gone into standby mode, starts moving again. The command comes from the brain, the testicles respond, and natural testosterone production resumes its rhythm. There is no shutdown, no atrophy. The body does not lose autonomy. On the contrary, it regains what had been left dormant. The difference lies precisely in balance. Instead of an artificial hormone surge, what happens is a gradual, stable, and lasting recovery. In the first days, there is more energy for simple activities. Then mental clarity improves, mood stabilizes, and more evidently, the firmness of erections returns as a natural response. This half a pill is not an internet trick or an empty promise. It is a validated strategy that relies on the body's most basic physiology. The human body has always known how to produce its own strength. It only needed a smart stimulus to remember. The name of this strategy is clear and straightforward: clomiphene citrate. For decades, it has been used in women with ovulation difficulties, but science discovered something surprising. In adjusted doses, this same compound becomes a valuable ally for men who want to restore their natural testosterone production. In practice, it does not provide ready-made hormone, as traditional replacements do. What clomiphene does is positively trick the brain. It sends the message that there is little testosterone circulating. The result is immediate at the central command. The brain sends stronger signals to the testicles, which resume internal production with vigor. Instead of shutting down the factory, it awakens it. And here lies the essential detail: the dose. It is not about a full pill. Clinical experience shows that half a pill every other day is enough to reactivate natural production without overloading the body. This reduced amount is what ensures balance, intensity in the response, but without unwanted effects. The method of use is also simple. Many tablets already come with a line down the center, called a score, made precisely to allow a perfect cut. If that division is not there, a pill cutter from the pharmacy solves the problem, ensuring both halves are equal. This precision matters. A bigger or smaller part can disrupt the process. The timing of ingestion also makes a difference. It is recommended to take it with a meal, always at the same time of day, to keep the body in a consistent rhythm. This is not a sprint, it's a marathon adjustment. Regularity teaches the brain to maintain the stimulus steadily. And the results? They appear in layers. In the first weeks, many report more morning energy, sharper mental focus, and a more balanced mood. With time, intimate response regains firmness and confidence. It is not an artificial explosion, but a gradual recovery that restores naturalness to what once seemed lost. This is the real advantage of clomiphene. Instead of creating dependence, it gives back autonomy. The body does not become a hostage. It becomes the main character in its own reconstruction. There was a patient named Roberto, 62 years old, who came into the office with his head down. He said quietly that he could no longer look his wife in the eye because he felt ashamed of undressing in front of her. For him, intimacy had become a distant memory, and each failed attempt only increased the burden he carried. 3 months later, after using half a pill every other day, he returned a different man. Upright posture, firm voice, smile on his face. He said that, for the first time in years, he felt like he was back, in control of his body. Another case was Mr. Yamada, 58 years old, who was afraid of being dependent on injections forever. When he started treatment with clomiphene, his goal was simple: to regain energy for daily life. What happened went beyond that. In 4 months, his tests showed testosterone levels comparable to those of a 40-year-old man. But what stood out most was the light in his eyes when he said, "I regained the confidence to be who I have always been." These stories are not exceptions. They show that when the body receives the right stimulus, the response comes, not in an explosive and fleeting way, but steadily, gradually, and durably. The secret is not in miracle formulas, but in understanding that strength can be rebuilt from within. If you've made it this far, it's because this topic speaks directly to you. And I want to invite you to take the next step. Subscribe to the channel now so you don't miss upcoming content, because every week I bring practical, straightforward guidance for men who want to age with vitality and power. Also, make sure to like this video and explore the other content already available on the channel. I am certain they can help you accelerate this transformation even more. I am Laura Marino, a specialist in men's health. It has been a pleasure to be with you in this video. See you in the next one. Take good care of yourself and remember, your strength may be dormant, but it is never lost.